I want to tell you one thing on SAT math. It's all about looking at the question and connecting it with the right concept. For example, it should not take you more than 2 seconds to identify that which concept is being tested in this particular question. So if you look at this question, this is testing you on similarity of triangles. This question is also testing you on similarity of triangles. This question is also testing you on similarity of triangles. Now in this question it was very easy to identify the concept because the figure was given. So just like this, when you do enough practice, you should be able to identify the right concept that you have to apply in each question. So that's all SAT math is about. Okay. And second thing is that you should know the type of questions that you can expect from a particular topic. For example, if we talk about quadratics or parabola, they are both the same things. So you should know the 4 different types of questions that are asked on SAT math from the topic of quadratics. First one is factored form of parabola, then vertex form of parabola, and then from discriminants, the number of x-intercepts in a parabola, and finding out number of intersection of a line and a parabola. So if you know that these are the 4 question types from parabola or quadratics, and you have practiced enough of these 4 question types, then you will be able to solve any question on your exam. Okay, so these are the 2 things that you need to keep in mind, Anika. First is that connecting the question with the right concept, and then the type of questions that you can expect from each concept. To find out the square of any number which ends in 5, okay, let's say you have 35 and you want to find out its square, okay, or let's say you have 75 and you want to find out its square, or you have 115, you want to find out its square. So with this hack you will be able to find out the squares of these numbers really quickly. Okay, so what you need to do is, first you will write 25. In all the numbers which end in 5 and you have to take their square, the last 2 digits will be always 25. Write 25, 25, 25. Okay, then what you need to do is ignore this 5. Just ignore this 5. Then what is left? 3 is left. Okay, write this 3 here. Wait a second. Write this 3 here, and then what is 3 plus 1, Anika?
4.
4. Write this 4 here. Multiply 3 and 4. That gives you 12. Now write this 12 here, and that's your answer. Okay, let's do one more. Now in 75 square, so for the first one the answer is 1225. For 75, again, what will be your first step? You write 25, ignore this 5. What is left? 7. Write 7. What is 7
Do I
plus
add
1?
1? Oh,
Yeah,
so 8.
8.
And then I multiply 7 by 8, which is 56. So it'll be 5,625.
That's the answer. Now let's do a 3-digit number, 115. Okay, first step, we write 25, then ignore this 5. Then what is left?
11. And then do I add 1?
Add 1. So you get,
So I get 12.
then you multiply 11 and 12.
And that's 132.
That's 132, and you write that 132 here. So that's your answer.
Okay.
This was pretty easy, right?
Yes.
You'll get the answer in just 2 seconds. Okay, so let's get started with circles. Okay, now Anika, in circles, the type of questions that you can expect, first of all let's review the type of questions that you can expect on SAT Math. The first is, I am giving you personal guarantee that you will definitely get a question from the topic of equations of circle. It was there in the diagnostic test as well. So that diagnostic test was actually the October 2023 SAT Math exam. The test that you attempted, it was October 2023 exam. Okay, so you can 100% you can expect a question from equations of circle, and the one more question you can expect from the sector area, sorry, arc length and sector area. Okay, maximum chances are that you'll get the questions from these two topics, and then there are some other topics as well in circles which we will be covering, because although the chances are less, but those questions can be combined with some other topics. Most of the times you will see that on SAT Math, they don't judge a single concept in one question, they combine multiple concepts. They will combine maybe trigonometry with circles, they will combine areas with circles, right? So we should know the other topics as well. So the other topics are your properties of circles. Properties involve tangents, secants, chords, theorems. There are a lot of theorems, angles, subscribed angles theorems. There are a lot of theorems that we will be doing. And equations is done. And then theorems, subscribed angles theorems, and angle in a semicircle. Okay, so today we will cover these first two topics, equations of circle and arc length and sector area, and in the next class we will cover properties of circles and theorems. Okay,
Okay.
alright, so let's move to the next page. We don't need the circle. Okay, first I will start with equations of circles, Anika, and then we'll do a question which was there on your diagnostic test as well. Okay, so Anika, anything that you can draw in two-dimensional space in xy plane, that has an equation, anything. So a line has an equation, a circle has an equation, and if you have completed pre-calculus, then you would have done conic sections, right? Have you done conic sections?
No, I don't think so.
Okay, have you heard of like these terms, parabola?
Yes.
Yeah, parabola. Have you heard of ellipse?
We didn't get that. We didn't do that because we had a new curriculum this year for AP Pre-Cal.
Okay, okay, got it. And okay, so my point is that anything that you can draw on xy plane, that has an equation. Okay, so for example, line has an equation, y is equal to mx plus b. Right, here your y and x, they are variables, and m and b are constants. Can you tell me what are m and b?
M is slope,
Right,
and then B would be the y-intercept.
right, b is the y-intercept. Perfect. So you know that m and b are constants, right? If you see an equation, you see y is equal to, let's say, 2x minus 5, right? So m and b are constants and x and y are variables. Similarly, in order to define a circle, you need two constants. Okay, if you want to write the equation of a circle, you will need to find out two values. First is you will need to know the center of the circle. Second, you'll need to know the radius of the circle.
Okay.
If you know the center, by center I mean the coordinates of the center of the circle. So if this is a circle, and if, let me draw the x-axis and y-axis, this is a circle, so you should know the coordinates of this point. Okay, let's say that this point has coordinates h comma k. Okay, and let's say that we know the radius of this circle. Let's say that the radius of the circle is r units. Okay, now if we have this information, we can easily write the equation of the circle. Okay, the equation of the circle is given by x minus h whole square plus y minus k whole square is equal to square of the radius. Okay,
Okay.
so here you can clearly see that h and k are the x and y coordinates of the center, and r is the radius. Okay, so if we have the center and the radius, we can write the equation of circle. That's it, that's all you need to know. But you will not get a very straightforward question on SAT math in which they give you the center and they give you the radius and you have to write this equation. Anybody can do that. The questions that you will see will be slightly challenging. Okay, so let's do a question, a practice question. You have to write the equation of a circle which is tangent to the y-axis and it has center at 4, 3. First I need to ask you, do you know the meaning of the term tangent?
Like next to? Or.
Kind of, yeah. So tangent means a line which touches a curve. Okay,
Okay, yeah.
yeah, so tangent is usually used with respect to curves. So here circle is a curve, so we have a circle and y-axis is tangent to this circle. Okay, so do you want to try out this question? I will, whatever comes to your mind, spend 1 minute and try to solve this question. I will set a timer of 1 minute because that is approximately the time that you will get on SAT math to do every question. 1 minute and 30 seconds. Okay, so I'm starting a timer of 60 seconds and you try to do this question, whatever comes to your mind, and your time starts now. Alright, the time is up. Okay, did you get any answer, or like did you reach to some steps?
I wasn't sure.
Mm-hmm. Okay,
Um,
okay, let's see.
I just like plugged in the numbers
Mm,
in the equation, but I don't
okay,
think I did it right.
Okay, so when you plug the numbers in the equation, then what did you get?
I didn't finish, but the way I plugged it in was 4 minus 3
Hmm.
squared plus 3 minus 4 squared.
Okay. All right. All right. So let's look at this. So you did 4 minus h. This is what you did? You
Oh, what I did, I replaced h and k with a different number. I think that's where I messed up.
okay. So
So,
you did x minus 4 whole square plus y minus 3 whole square.
no.
Okay.
I did 4 minus 3.
4 minus 3. Okay.
Yeah, and then plus 3 minus 4. I replaced all the variables completely.
Okay. Got it. Okay. Now if you do this, then all your, as you can see, all your variables are replaced and everything, you are actually left with no variable at all, right?
Ye- Yes.
But your final equation will have variables. Okay, so we don't have to remove x and y from the equation. Okay, as we saw in the equation of a line, you have y and x present, right? Y is equal to 2x minus 5. All you need to do is, when you are writing the equation of a line, all you need to do is you need to find out the slope and the y-intercept. That means you need to find out the values of m and b, and you get the equation, right? We have
Yeah.
to keep y and x, right? Similarly, in case of circles, we want to keep y and x, but we need to find out the values of the constants. Okay, we need to find out the
Okay.
values of h, k, and r.
Okay.
Okay, so how can we find out the values of h, k, and r? Well, h and k, they are the x and y coordinates of the center, and the center is given to us. This is the coordinates of the center. So this means that 4 is actually h and 3 is k. Okay, so we can partially write the equation now. You get, I'm just replacing h and k by 4 and 3. So I get h minus 4 whole square plus y minus 3 whole square is equal to r square. This step is clear?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, now we need to find out the radius. R is what? R is rate. H is done, K is done. Now we need to find out the radius. Now in order to find out the radius, we will see what other information is given to us in the question. So it says that the circle is tangent to the y-axis. Okay, the circle is tangent to the y-axis. So I'm gonna take this circle. Okay, so this is the circle and it is tangent to the y-axis. So my y-axis is actually touching this circle. Okay, it is touching the circle. So this should be the y-axis,
Okay.
right? Because y-axis is touching the circle. And we will try to draw the x-axis as well. So this is the center, Anika. What are the coordinates of the center?
4, comma 3.
4, 3. So what does this mean? That this point, this center point, is 4 units away from the origin, like towards the right hand side, and it is 3 units up from the x-axis,
Okay.
right?
Yes.
Right? Okay.
Yes.
All right. So I'm going to draw the x-axis as well. So this length, can I say that this length will be 4 units?
Yes.
Yes. And it is 3 units above from the x-axis. So this, actually we don't need to find out the vertical length. Now just this information allows us to find out the radius. Can you find out the radius of the circle by just this information?
Would it be 4?
Exactly, the radius is 4 units.
But
Hmm.
why
Yeah,
would it not be y? Like why would it not be the y value?
the y value, okay, the y value, if you take, now if you try to draw this circle, let me just, I'm gonna draw this circle first. I'll show you the equation. So equation is x minus 4 whole square plus y minus 3 whole square is equal to 16. And first I will draw the circle on Desmos, and then you will understand why it is not the y value. Okay, let me take you to Desmos. Okay, and you should know this, that you are allowed to use Desmos on your SAT math. You know this, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Also, will it always be like the x value when it's
Mm,
questions?
no, 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 no. It's not necessary that it will be x value. Okay, I'll draw the circle. I'll try to draw the circle perfectly, and then you'll understand why it is the x value and not the y value. Okay. So we have a circle, and we know that, wow, this is a good circle that I've drawn. Its vertex is not vertex, its center is 4 comma 3. So I'm just, this is the information that we know, 4 comma 3. Okay, so this means that this point is 4 units away from the origin. Let's say this is the origin, and 3 units up. Okay, so it has to be in the first quadrant, right? Okay, so my x-axis would be somewhere here, and my y-axis would be somewhere here. Okay, I mean this is touching the circle. Okay, this is the origin, Anika.
Okay.
0 comma 0. Now you know that, so I'm gonna also plot the points for you. So this is 1, and this is 2, and this is 3. Okay, and let's say this is 1, this is 2, this is 3, and this is 4. Okay, that's how this is. The x coordinate is 4 units and the y coordinate is 3 units. Now if you see carefully, okay, so this length is how much, Anika? What is this length, this horizontal length?
4
4
4
units.
units.
Yes. And what is this vertical length?
3 units.
This is 3 units. So which one of these is the radius?
Oh, 4 units.
Yes, so you have to take that length, which is starting from the center and it is touching the circle. This one you asked that why the radius is not the y value. So if you draw the graph properly, you will see that this length is not touching the circle, because this
Okay.
length is 3 units and the x-axis is actually intersecting the circle. Okay, so the length which is touching the circle is this length,
Okay.
which is of 4 units. Okay, these are the type of questions that are always asked on SAT math, that circle is tangent to the y-axis, circle is tangent to the x-axis, or circle is tangent to any line, any random line. Okay, we will do a lot of questions of these types. So this is your final equation. Okay, now other type of question that is asked on SAT math is the one that was there on your test. I'm going to take that question, this one. Okay, in the xy plane the graph of the given equation is a circle. What is the area of this circle? Okay, now Anika, can you tell me what is the formula of area of a circle?
2 pi r squared.
2 pi r squared. Okay, and what is the formula for circumference of the circle?
Um, 2 pi r.
2 pi r. Okay, so the formula for circumference is correct, but area is just pi r square. Okay,
Oh, okay.
just pi r square. So that means
Okay.
now we want to find out the area, so we should know what is the radius, right? Obviously
Yes.
we need the radius to find out the area of the circle, but we don't have any other information except the equation of the circle, right? So from
Yes.
this equation, how can we find out the area of the, how can we find out the radius of the circle? Well, Anika, if the equation was given to you, so can you first tell me, Anika, what is the radius of this circle? Like if just equation is given to us, if just this equation is given to us, then what is the radius of this circle?
Well, would I just
I've come back to the previous question that we were doing. This question, if this
Mhm.
equation is given to us, this equation is in standard form.
Okay.
Okay, but in our question, in this question, the equation is not given to us in the standard form. This is not in the standard form. So what we need to do is we need to convert this equation from this form to the standard form. Okay, but first I'm going to ask you a question. Can you tell me the radius of this equation, Anika, from the standard form?
Mm, well, in standard form, would is the like the value that it's equal to,
Hmm.
is it like the circumference
No,
or
this value that it's equal to, I told you in the beginning as well, right? This r square, here r is your radius.
so would it be 4?
Yes, exactly.
Okay. So in the end, no matter what type of form the equation in, the end result value will always be the radius or some form of it.
No, and not in every type of equation, only when you see the equation in standard form, in this form. The
Okay.
equation should be in the format x minus h whole square plus y minus k whole square. Then whatever you have on the right hand side, this, its square, you will see that whatever is on the right hand side, you take its square root and you'll get the radius. So here you had 16, you took its square root of 16 is 4, and that's the radius. Okay, but in our question, I'm going to write that question here so that you can compare. So you have x square minus 10x plus y square minus 6y, x square minus 10x plus y square minus 6y is equal to 30. That's the question.
So what I have to do on? like one
Hmm.
could I like simplify parts of the equation um
Mm-hmm.
like factor x in one half and factor out y in the other?
Well, you can factor out x in the first two terms, and in the next two terms you can factor out y, but uh, that will not actually make this equation into this form. So if you do that, so you get x and x minus 10 plus y times y minus 6. But doing this does not transform the equation into this form. Okay, here we'll
Okay.
have to apply some other strategy. That strategy is called completing the square. You might have heard of this, completing the square, in quadratics. Have you heard of
Ye-
this, completing the
yes.
square? Yes, this method is used to simplify quadratic expressions. Now, as I was saying, that SAT math combines multiple concepts in one question. Okay, so here they have combined the concept of quadratics as well as circles. Okay, so we will try to complete the square, Anika. So when we try to complete the square, Anika, the first two terms will give you this this term, and the next two terms will give you this term. Okay, okay, now first I want to ask you, do you know the method of completing the square?
I can't recall it right now.
Okay, no worries. So I'll tell you how do we do this method, completing the square. So what you have to do is, Nika, this is a kind of a complicated method, so really we need to be careful. Okay, okay, so for the first two terms, Anika, what we will do, I'm writing x square as it is. Okay, and then you take the second term, minus 10x. Okay, what is the coefficient of this term?
Negative 10.
Negative 10. So what you do is you take this negative 10 and you divide it by 2. Okay, so you get negative 5. Then next step, you take its square. What do you get?
25.
25. So now what you will do is you will add and subtract this 25 here. Okay, so I'm writing minus 10x. After that, you add a 25 and you subtract this 25. You will understand why we are doing this, like why I'm adding and subtracting 25 in the next step. Okay, same thing we will do for this y square minus 6y as well. Okay, plus y square minus 6y. Take the second term, Anika, and do these exact same steps. What is the coefficient of this term?
Negative 6.
Negative 6. You divide it by 2, what do you get?
Negative 3.
Negative 3. You take its square, what do you get?
9.
9. Now again we will add and subtract 9. Okay, so we do this, and on the right hand side this is all equal to 30. This is the same on the left hand side. These are all like the same equation. Okay, now why we have done this, now you will see that the first three terms are actually making the whole square, and the first three terms here are also making the whole square. Okay, now I want to ask you, have you seen this formula, Anika? A plus b whole square gives us a square plus 2ab plus b square, and a minus b whole square gives you a square minus 2ab plus b square. Have you seen these formulas?
Yes.
Okay, so can you identify which of these two formulas are getting used here?
Um, The second one?
The second one, yes, because this second term is negative, and the second term is negative in the second formula. Okay, so can you tell me the left side of this formula for this term?
The left side, like
So,
x
x,
squared minus 10x plus 25.
yeah, that is correct. That is correct. So first let me write all of this in one line. X square minus 10x plus 25 minus 25 plus y square minus 6y plus 9 minus 9 is equal to 30. The first three terms will give me a whole square term. The first three terms will give me this x minus h whole square. And then these three terms will give me y minus k whole square. Okay? So Anika, if you compare these three terms with this expression, I want you to compare these three terms with these three terms. So can you identify the values of a and b?
A is x and B is 5.
B is 5. Perfect. So can I write these three terms as x minus 5 whole square, because these three terms are equal to this a minus b whole square?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. And then can you tell me for these three terms, y square minus 6y plus 9?
So it will be um, A is equal to um, A is equal to Y,
Perfect. And b
and then
is
B is equal to 3.
3. Perfect. So can you tell me the whole square term for this?
Would it be Y minus 3 squared?
Perfect. Y minus 3 whole square. Okay. And then this negative 25 is left. Negative 25 and negative 9. So that we will write as it is. So x minus 5 whole square plus y minus 3 whole square minus 25 minus 9 is equal to 30. So what is minus 25 minus 9, Anika?
Um, negative 34.
Negative 34 is equal to 30. And then we add a 34 on both the sides to get 30 plus 34, right? And we finally get 30 plus 34 is 64. So finally we have converted the equation into standard form. Now if you compare this equation with the standard form, which was x minus h whole square plus y minus k whole square is equal to r square. So what is the radius of this equation?
8.
8. Perfect. So radius is 8. So what will be the area?
The area will be 64 pi.
64 pi. Perfect. So that's option D.
Okay.
Okay, so that's how we do these type of questions. I'm gonna send you a lot of questions, Anika, based on this type that we did, finding out equations of circle, finding out radius if the equation is given, and if a line is tangent to the circle. Let me see if there is another question of circles. I think there was one more. Okay, quadratics. Yeah, this is again, this is a question of circles. So Anika, can you read this question?
Okay. A circle in the xy plane has its center at 4, comma negative 5 and has a radius of 2. An equation of the circle is x squared minus 8x plus y squared plus 10y plus c equals 0. Where c is a constant, what is the value of c?
Okay, let me bring out the pen. Okay, so the center is 4 comma negative 5. So we have a circle. Its center is 4 comma negative 5 and its radius is 2 units. And its equation is also given to us. This is the equation. What is the, we have to find out the value of c. Okay, so I want to give you some time. You think about it. How can we, what should we do to solve this question? What should be the approach?
I thought um I thought when it's equations. Oh wait, but it's not in the standard form, so that's
Mm-hmm.
why it's not equal to the radius.
Yeah, right now it's not equal to the radius.
So do I have to convert it to standard form?
You will have
Or
to, yes, you will have to
okay.
convert it to the standard form, but here you don't need to convert it into standard form. Here we can actually, first what you can do is, Anika, see here they have given us the center and the radius both, right? So
Mm-hmm.
even if you don't have this equation, let me just hide this equation for a second. Can we not write the
Oh, you can
equation?
find out the standard equation because of the center given and then also the radius.
Yes.
So
So tell me the standard form of the equation of this circle.
um it will be um k, no, sorry, h.
Okay, first let's write the equation. It is x minus h whole square plus
Okay.
y minus k whole square equals to r square. Okay, we have the
Okay.
values of h, k and r. Okay, first tell me what are the values of h, k and r.
So h is equal to 4,
Mm-hmm.
and then k is equal to negative 5,
Okay,
and then r squared is equal to 4.
r square is equal to 4. Perfect. Okay, now just plug in all the values here in the equation.
Okay,
Hmm.
so x minus
Mm-hmm.
4
Mm-hmm.
squared plus
Mm-hmm.
y plus 5 squared is
Perf-
equal to 4.
Perfect. So we have written the equation in the standard form and we want to find out the value of c. And now they have given us the equation in the expanded form. Okay, they have actually expanded the standard form. So in this question we need to do the opposite of what we did in the previous question. In the previous question we went from this form to the standard form, but in this question you have to go from the standard form to this form. Well, going from standard form to this form is always easier, okay, rather than going from this form to the standard form, because expanding the binomials is very easy. So Anika, can you expand this x minus 4 whole square?
Um,
Use that
it will
formula.
be x squared
Yeah.
minus 8x
Hmm.
plus 16
Yeah. And then the second term, y plus 5.
will be y squared
Hmm.
plus 10x,
10y.
y, 10y,
Hmm.
um, plus 25
Okay. Equals to 4.
to 4.
Okay. So
Also, now can I combine the different values or
yeah.
terms?
So now our end goal is to write the equation in this form so that we can compare the equations and we can get the value of c. Okay, and you can see that we already have x square minus 8x, right? This, and we also have
Yes.
y square plus 10y, right? Okay, yeah, now you go ahead.
Yes. Um, will C be equal to 37?
Okay, yeah, I think the answer was visible, but yes.
Oh, sorry.
Okay, yes, c is 37.
Uh,
Can you tell
I
me
got
how did
it.
you get?
So I added 25 to 16.
Hmm.
And then after doing that, I got 41. And
Hmm.
then in order to, because it says 0 in the question, like it's equal to 0, that means I had to
Yes.
subtract 4 from both sides. And then
Yes.
I got 37.
Perfect. So c is going to be 37. Okay. So this is again this was a different type of question. And Anika, we can always expect a different type of question anytime on SAT. But if your fundamentals are clear, if you know that no matter what happens, if you know that this is the equation where you know that hk and what are k and r, you can solve any type of question on SAT math. Okay, you have to keep that confidence in yourself. Okay, that if a question is of equations of circle, all you need to know is this expression. Okay, and you can do any type of question.
Okay.
Okay, do you want to do one more?
Okay.
Okay. Okay, let's do a different type of question this time. Okay, this question involves, again, it involves two concepts. Concept of what is it called? Midpoint formula. Have you heard of the midpoint formula?
Um, yes, but I forgot it. I learned it in geometry.
Yes, we have done that in geometry. Okay, let me first write the question. So we have to write the equation of a circle whose end points of the diameter are endpoints of the diameter are negative 4 comma 8 and 2 comma negative 4. That's the question. So this means, Anika, this means what? That we have a circle. Let me take out a circle from here. Okay, so we have this circle and it has a diameter. Okay, and n points of the diameter. So they have given us the coordinates of the n points of the diameter this time. So let's say that this point is negative 4 comma 8 and this point is 2 comma negative 4. This is all the information that we have. Okay, and we have to write the equation of a circle. Let's think about it. So always your approach in these type of questions is going to be that first you will write the equation, Anika. X minus h whole square plus y minus k whole square equals to r square. Now you will think about how can we find out the values of h, k and r. So think about it, Anika. How can you find out? First, let's talk about h and k. How can we find out the?
So would I
Mm-hmm.
have to like add the
Mm-hmm.
x values and the
Mm-hmm.
y values and then divide them by two, like sort of averaging them
Perfect.
out? Okay.
Perfect. Yes, and that's actually your midpoint formula. So you
Okay.
know that the center of the circle is going to be the midpoint of the diameter, right? So as you
Yes.
said, we'll first add the x values. So that will be negative 4 plus 2 divided by 2, and that will give you the x coordinate of the center. And for k, we will add the y values, 8 plus negative 4, and divide by 2. That will give us the y coordinate of the center. So can you tell me these values?
Um, -1
Mm-hmm.
and 2.
Yes. So the center is negative 1 comma 2. Perfect. So we have h and k. And how can you find out the radius?
Um, do I? Oh, well,
So radius
could
will be, yeah, go on.
I was wondering if I had to like plug in the values that I already had into the formula and then try, or
If you try to plug in the values that you already have in the formula, so you have h and k. If you substitute the h and k values here, then I don't think you will get the value of r by doing that.
okay.
Let's see the figure. Radius is going to be, can I say the radius is this length, this distance?
Yes.
Okay. Now, how can you find out the distance between 2 points in a coordinate plane? You have this
And
point.
then do I have to like with the x values that I have, do I have to find the difference in between the x values and then divide it by 2?
No, that is useful when you have to find out the midpoint of
Okay.
any line. Now here the problem is you have to find out the distance between these 2 points. So here we use the distance formula. So for this was your midpoint formula when you have to find out the midpoint of a line segment. Okay?
Okay, so now it's the distance formula.
Distance formula is, so this is covered in the geometry curriculum. So distance formula is given by x1 minus x2 whole square plus y1 minus y2 whole square, and all of this is inside the square root. You remember this?
Uh, a little bit, yes.
So you have 2 points. If you have 2 points, x1 comma y1 and x2 comma y2, we have,
So
yeah.
could I, uh, so would it be a four?
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Okay, so you have these 2 points, Anika. Consider these 2 points, this one and this one, right? So you have negative 4 comma 8 and negative 1 comma 2, and you have to find out the distance between these 2 points. Okay, so let's say this
yeah.
is x1, this is y1, and this is x2 and y2. Okay,
Okay.
so now we plug these values in this formula. So you have x1 minus x2. So you do negative 4 minus negative 1.
Would the value be 6 or
6. You mean the final value?
Yes, final value.
I think it is
Or
3.
maybe a
It should be 3.
3?
It should be 3. Can you check your calculations?
Uh, oh, I think I switched a value somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. I see where I went wrong.
What happened?
I used the wrong values. I didn't use the center, I used the two opposite ones.
Okay, so what are you getting then?
Um, minus 2, 6, 36. 3.
3.
Because
Mm-hmm.
the square root and the exponents cancel out, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it would just be negative 3 plus 6, and that's 3.
The exponents and square roots do cancel out, but not when you have multiple terms inside. So, like if you have, let's say if you have just this, then the exponent and square root cancel out and you'll get x.
Oh,
But if you have multiple terms, let's say x squared plus y squared, then we cannot write it as x plus y. This would be wrong. Okay?
okay. 9 plus 36.
Okay. I
Uh,
I said 3, but I said 3. 3 is not the answer. I said it deliberately. I wanted to check
would it
if I say
be
3 and then you are also getting 3.
root of 35?
Root of
45?
45. Yes.
Yeah.
Square root of 45.
So would it be 3 root 5?
Yes, it will be 3 root 5, but you don't need to find that out. So this is your radius. But if you have to write the final equation, we have to write the square of the radius, right? So when you will square the radius, because in the end you remember there is r square. So when you do it square, then you'll get 45. Right? So you don't have to find out its square root. I hope this step is clear, Anika.
Yes.
Okay, so final equation becomes x minus, what was h? Negative 1. So x plus 1 whole square plus y minus 2, this is 2 whole square, is equal to 45. I hope
Okay.
you have understood why we have written 45, right? Because it's the square of
Yes,
the
because
radius.
r squared.
Yes. Okay.